Barbie, and I am here to show you the tools of the trade when it comes to crochet. And one of the things that I didn't have on my mat are my crochet hooks. So there are some certain tools that are ones that you're going to want to keep with you. I will even show it to you. This is my little go with me everywhere knit bag. I have this one as well as this one because, you know, we all need, especially when you have been knitting and crocheting as long as I have, you have a lot of what we call WIPs, works in progress, which is another, I think I'm going to have to go over, comment below if you think that I should go over a terms and acronyms kind of, yeah. Anywho, if you think terms and an acronym basics is what we need on this channel, feel free to comment below and I will get that added to my to-do lists. Like I said, if you have been knitting or crocheting as long as I have, there are many projects you have going on and you have many works in progress. So I have multiple bags hanging around with the same kind of stuff. So then it's easy for me to, oh wait, I'm going to change up and take a different project with me. I'm going to grab that and go. Easy said, easy said. And so now I will tell you about some other things that you are going to need in your stash when you are when you get going farther in your crochet. So without further ado, I will switch you down onto my work surface here so you can see all my fun stuff. This is my go-to for my bag of fun. So, of course, the first things that you are going to need are your choice of hooks. Now, I have 3 different styles of hooks here. First off, I will show you these 2. These 2 are the main hooks that you can find. The Susan Bates, which is this lighter blue, is mainly at Joann, and this darker blue is the boy hook, and this is actually, you can find it at Michael's, Walmart's, and of course everything is available, I think, on Amazon. So these are 2 different kinds. This is actually considered a tapered hook because it's kind of like, it's kind of got this almost hourglass shape to it. And this is the brand that I prefer. I only have one of the Susan Bates in my collection, and that is this one. And it is the more of an inline hook. I, for some reason, just could not get this one to work for me as well as I did the boy. The boy or the tapered is what I started off with when I was just a kid, and I just understood how that worked a lot. And I had figured out my own technique with the boy, and that just does not work with the Susan Bates. So my entire collection of crochet hooks is boy. They also come in I want to say that this is aluminum. They come in aluminum. Crochet hooks also come in acrylic, in a plastic, and wood. Again, the metal of the boy is just one that made more sense to me. I did go out with my the gift card I got for Christmas. I went out and I got the entire set of the boy ergonomic hooks because I figured this has turned into my full-time my full-time gig, and so I wanted to make sure that my hands were being cared for and loved. So I went out and I got the entire set of the boy. It's at Walmart. It was size B through size K or L. It was a larger size, definitely. And I was able to get that for $25 for the entire set, which was really awesome because I think it boiled down to being like $2 a hook, I think. I will put a link below for that set. I will throw out there that none of the things that I am showing you today, I have I'm paid for. So when I'm telling you what I like, it's because I actually really, truly like it, and not because I'm being paid to tell you I like it. So, but I go with the boy. It seems to be easier for me. And this actually, I'm not sure how well these would work pencil hold, but the holding is, like the flat part where you would put your fingers isn't that far off. So I'm assuming that it would still work well for pencil hold. As I have said in previous videos in this series, I am a knife hold. That is my little hook blurb. Also, you're going to need your yarn, because if you don't have yarn, what are you crocheting with? Seriously, right? The other thing that you're really going to need at first is a pair of scissors. And I have probably a good 50 pairs of scissors. So this particular pair of scissors rides around in my pink bag. Everywhere the pink bag goes, these particular pair of scissors go. Then you are going to need measuring tape. This is kind of more getting into the advanced stuff. So this is all the beginner stuff. The advanced stuff, yarn ring is optional, totally optional. Found these on Amazon. I got a 6-pack of them, and yarn rings just go onto your finger to kind of guide the yarn. So if you are feeling like your yarn is like working into your skin, or giving you calluses or whatnot, I would recommend grabbing one of those. That's an optional. Getting back to the tools that you're probably really going to need. I have my 3 different kinds of measuring going on here. So this is a regular old strip tape measure. I have my, this is actually a knitting gauge, but it still works for crochet because you have the ruler on here as well. And then there is, for if you were knitting, this is a way to tell which size knitting needle you had. But if you're crocheting, it really doesn't, I don't think it works so well. And then this is a retractable one that I thought was just too cute. And this is actually from Annies.com. So yeah, a little yarn ball measuring tape. Why is the measuring tape important? The measuring tape is important because when we get further in to the basics, probably video episode 8, I would say, we're going to be talking about gauge. And gauge is very important, especially when you're getting into garments or things that need to be a particular size. So we're going to be getting into that. I promise. Just later on down the road. Let's get the stitches out of the way, the basic stitches out of the way first. But so those you're going to need for gauging. Also, this is a little, obviously, Siesta Seasonings tea that I got. They were running a promotion, so whenever you bought the tea, there was 1 box in the tea. Wish I would have gotten some more because I think they're just super useful. Another option, if you want to copy this idea is the Altoids box that the Altoids mints come in. And because this is a perfect place to hold your yarn needle, which you're going to need to weave in tails eventually when you finish your first project. And then ignore these, because I carry these around with me even though I am not particularly knitting at this point in time. That's a different story. We'll move those off to the side. But these are stitch markers. And this one's closed, but they pop right open, and you hook this into your stitch so then that way you can keep track of your stitches. This comes in handy. These really come in handy. I mainly use these when I am working on a long chain, and I will space these out in intervals down the chain, so then that way I know, so I don't have to keep counting the same chains over and over and over again. Generally I get to about 50 and I place a marker, chain another 50, place a marker, chain another 50, place a marker, because it's actually, I really use these a lot when I'm working on blankets. Also, it's a good way to, if you are a beginner, and I will show you this trick here when we're working with the stitches, pop one of these in your stitch at the end of the row, and make sure that you don't leave off that stitch or put an extra stitch on. I will get into that one in a bit. But these are my go-to, need them all of the time tools. I hope that you found this beginning tools of the trade for crochet handy. If I missed anything that you keep in your bag or your tools that you use quite frequently, be sure to comment that in the bottom too, down in the comments, because you might actually be helping not only another viewer, but you actually might be reminding me of something that I need to keep in my bag. So enjoy, and there's more to be coming, so be sure to subscribe. Night!